Okay, so your question is that how, when no record is available with the government of India, then how did we overcome these hurdles and research for this film? So I did two, three things. Number one, we filed RTIs. We found there was no information. I went to the National Archives, Parliament, everywhere, no information. Then I said that there are so many people who have lived in those times, and they are not in the mainstream, but they have some knowledge. So I crowdsourced for the first time in Indian history for a film. Anybody crowdsource research, and I crowdsourced research, and I appealed to all the Indians. I said, whatever you know, whoever you know, please connect me through them. This was a creative idea. It was an innovative idea. And then, you know how things happen. One person connects you with the other, then somebody with the other. And slowly, I cannot disclose everything because it's under confidence. But then somebody got me the lost Parliament records or confidential Parliament records. People started giving me a lot of articles of those times. Then they started putting me in touch with the people who were associated with Shastri ji. And slowly, we started building a network. And we found all this information which you have seen in the film. And this also gave me the confidence, and it reinforced my belief that there is no power, there is no substitute to the people's power if collectively we come together and try to help each other. Then we can achieve anything we want. And I must thank the great people of India who, under confidentiality, helped us find the truth.
The other day I was reading your book, and you have written in your book that senior journalist Kuldeep Nayyar ji, just a few months before his death, chose you to disclose all the secrets with respect to Shastri ji's death, right? About which he never spoke or wrote about earlier. Sir, could you please share some insights on this? I mean, what could be the reasons that made Kuldeep Nayyar ji take a tectonic shift in his stand just before his death?
Honestly speaking, I cannot tell you what was his reason, but I can tell you how it played out. Somebody put me in touch, like I told you, through crowd research. Somebody put me in touch with Kuldeep Nayyar ji. I had never met him before. He had no idea about me. I kept calling him, and every time he would refuse to meet me. He said, I am not interested in film and film people and all that. I kept insisting. In fact, once he got angry also at me, and he said, please stop calling me all the times. I have nothing to say. Whatever I have to say, I have said it. It's in public domain. I read all his interviews, articles, his autobiography. Everywhere he wrote or gave an impression that in his mind he had no doubt that Shastri ji died of heart attack. Though he mentioned many times that Lalita ji, Shastri ji's wife, had told him that there was something fishy about it, but he said no. And he was one person who was present there, and he was one of the first persons to reach there. He was the press secretary, so he reached there, the first person to reach after Shastri ji died, and he has written in great detail what happened at that night. And he was the one who travelled back with Shastri ji's dead body. And he was a very honest, responsible journalist. There was nobody could accuse him of lying or misinforming people, and nobody questioned his account also. One day I was in Delhi. I was shooting. Suddenly from nowhere I got a call from a landline number, and with his deep voice he said, Mr. Agnihotri, I am Kuldeep Nayyar. And he said, can you come and meet me right now? So I said, sir, I'm shooting, and coincidentally I'm in Delhi. He said, how soon can you meet me? So I said, I'm in Delhi, I can meet you today later in the evening. I said, no, I said I can come in the afternoon. He said, no, afternoon, I sleep after lunch. Then he called me, I've written in the book. So I went there in the late afternoon or early evening. I went there. And my team was there, and a couple of more people were with me, and Lal Bahadur Shastri ji's grandson was also with me. I took him with me so that somebody from the family is there to check whether everything is perfect or not. So initially he was saying the same thing, but finally he told me how the Indian ambassador T.N. Kaul kept pestering him, and he said, now I have doubt in my mind that there was definitely something was very wrong with Shastri ji's death. It's all on camera, we recorded. I touched his feet and left, and he was very old, in mid-90s or something like that. And after a few weeks or few months, he died. This was perhaps his last interview or last time he spoke about Shastri. So why did he choose me? I don't know. I don't even know that why God chose me to make this film. Because despite all the problems, all the hurdles I have written in the book, as if somebody was choosing me to tell this story. It had to come through me. So similarly, I think all of us are mediums. When you definitely want something very, very honestly, sincerely and desperately, then I think Mother Nature makes it happen for us. आप बड़े बूढ़े जो कहते हैं दिल से कोई चीज़ चाहोगे तो ईश्वर तुम्हारे लिए रास्ते खोल देगा. I think Shri late Kuldeep Nayyar ji was one of those ways to my path to truth.
I want to further delve into this specific topic about Shastri ji. That this question may be seen as politically incorrect or stuff, whatever. But do you think that the then government, which was at place, do you blame them for the cover-up of Shastri ji's alleged political murder, or would you rather blame them for their lack of activeness in initiating a proper investigation? Because it is very difficult for us even to imagine that till date we are unable to find out the actual reasons behind the death of our second Prime Minister.
See, I am neither Supreme Court of India, nor I am the Parliament, nor I am the custodian of truth that I can answer it with credibility. But I can tell you that after working on this subject for now more than 4 or 5 years, and even after writing the book, and I still keep reading, I'll tell you, for the first time, I have not spoken about it. I always said, I don't know, it's written in the book or in the film. I feel that the government of that time definitely knew there was something wrong about it. 100%. But the problem was that the popularity of Shastri ji was so high at that time that people within 1.5 years had forgotten about Nehru. And this, all you young boys can go and do some research. I have seen the headlines of those times. Even New York Times had stopped writing about Nehru ji. In fact, one of the articles they have also written that Shastri has become so popular that the people of India have forgotten about the first Prime Minister of India. It's something like that they have written in one of their articles. Everywhere, people started talking about him. People did not forget Gandhi, but people in 1.5 years forgot about Nehru. And people started saying if Shastri was Prime Minister before China war, he would have won us the war. It was showing very negatively on Nehru ji. On the other hand, Indira Gandhi had a problem with Shastri ji because Shastri ji became the Prime Minister, whereas Indira Gandhi wanted to become the Prime Minister. So these two things put together, there is an indirect suspicion that there was a big conspiracy in killing Shastri ji in Tashkent. Even if that is not true, the reason there was absolutely no investigation, no post-mortem, and there were so many loopholes in the whole thing, and the government of Congress never ever initiated the investigation, is because Mrs. Indira Gandhi was scared that if she goes for the investigation and if some kind of truth comes out, then she will not remain Prime Minister of this country, because then the people of the country will rebel. This was her fear. And which is why you'll see that all the documents and the files have vanished. Which is not possible, because the matter of the ex-Prime Minister comes under the purview of PMO. It was not possible if the Prime Minister was not directly involved in this. This is my understanding. This is my feeling. I am not saying this is the truth. But for me, unless some new truth comes out, I am going to live believing that yes, the truth was destroyed by the hands of Mrs. Indira Gandhi's regime.